There she is. Look at her. Look at her. What's her name? What do you tell me?
Miss Shay. I call her Miss Shay, but her name is
Right.
Shay.
And yes. Well, I go further. I go further. I call her Shaylin because she is all of that. She has a whole complete name. Shaylin Watson. Did you hear the crowd go wild? Right, let's make them go wild. Hello, Shay.
Hello. That was such
I
a introduction.
well, look, we've got to bring the extra because it's you. You're amazing.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
You're right.
Miss Shay, will you tell the world just a little bit, just a ski task about you?
Yeah, so I am Shaylin Watson, born in Maryland, Prince George's County, and went to college in North Carolina, UNCG, so University of North Carolina, Greensboro, and now I am a current company member with Evidence, Ronald K. Brown Evidence, a dance company, and I'm in my second season right now, so that is what I'm currently doing.
So she said second season because second season means you made it back past the first.
Yeah.
Lucky.
That's right. She's lucky. That people need to understand that talent can get you in the door, but if you don't keep it there, then the door will close.
Yeah, because everyone is always wanting to be where you are. So it's never any room to get comfortable.
Absolutely. What's your first question for Miss Shay?
My first question is what inspired you to start dancing?
Well, my entire family dances actually. My grandmother and her sister, they were tap dancers behind Louis Armstrong. Way back when. So then my grandma, they were dancing. Then my mom danced in the church. So, and my grandfather, he was a tap dancer. I'm sorry, my great grandfather was a tap dancer. So it was always in the family. Um, so it was familiar. And that was the one thing that just stuck with me. So it was a family thing, a family get togethers for dancing. It was just something that was always introduced to me. And it's in the bloodline. So that's what inspired me to dance.
Well, Miss Shay, so you said your whole family dances. By any chance, do you all ever get together now and just have full out family jam dance sessions?
No, they live through me. They solely live through me. It's the type, Shay, get up and do this dance real quick. Or Shay, go do this. It's solely me now. They, if it's a dance party, for a birthday, they'll get up and dance, but it's not on no like, everyone getting up and dance. No.
It's no at home choreography sessions.
Now I will say if I have a show and they do watch it, they'll be like, "Oh, I love this dance," and they'll just start breaking out and doing it. It may not look nothing like what I was doing, but they do. There's some dance.
Awesome. So, Miss Shay, you said that you are on the company Evidence. Could you talk to us about the process to the company?
As in how I got in, or just the process of how it works.
Well, I mean, how you got in, like what happened? Because one day you were here, and the next day you were leaving.
Right. So I was introduced to the company the summer of 2014 at American Dance Festival in North Carolina. And that was my first time taking a class with Ron. Never knew anything about it, but the class was so amazing. I'm like, I have to be with this person. Like, I have to be in this company at some point. And then sometimes pass, and then I'm in I think I want to say I was in my junior year of college. And I was thinking about other forms of artistic paths because I just really wasn't feeling it as much. And one of his company members comes to my college and she becomes a teacher there. So perfect timing. And then she just reminds me of, oh, Ronald K. Brown, this company. I'm like, okay, I forgot. This is where I want to be. So then she kind of like took me under her wing. And from then on out, I was with her everywhere. She would take me to their shows. I was her assistant when she was a teacher for American Dance Festival. I want to say 2017 or 2018. So I was her assistant there, and she taught a Ronald K. Brown rep. So then I was there with them, and we went to see their show. She would take me backstage, and she would take me to kind of like the after party with her. So I by this point I've had a conversation with everyone in the company. So it was just good exposure. She really exposed me to that, and she introduced me to the summer intensive that they had every summer. I think fallish around August. So at this point, I'm still teaching at the point, but in my head, I knew, okay, I got to move to New York at some point because I know that's where they rehearse and that's where they're based out of. So, long story short, after I leave the point in the summer, because my lease was up July 31st, I go to their summer intensive, which is August 19th. Go there. It's a 2-week intensive. Um, Mind you, I got a scholarship to go there. I wrote them a paper, just pretty much expressing a letter about how I was interested in it. And then I was offered a scholarship to attend. But just for that, from that alone, you had to help out. It's not just you going, you have to help out, be behind the scenes, just be there any way possible that you can. So I was there for the 2 weeks. And then one of the artistic directors comes up to me and they're like, do you live here? Like what's going on? What is your current living situation? And I'm just letting them know that no, I currently don't live here, but I plan to look for housing here soon. They informed me about the audition, went to the audition. So at this point, a 2-week trip turned into a 3-week trip. Then got a call back. So now the three week trip turned into a 4-week trip. And after that, thankfully I got a phone call saying that they would like me to be in their company. So now I'm like, oh shoot, a 2-week trip now is a forever thing. So I ended up staying, called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I got into the company. Here, rehearsal next Monday, though. Mind you, have no housing, none of that. My 2 college friends were actually letting me stay with them for the entire time. And they said I can stay with them for another 30 days until I found housing. So I was sleeping on the couch for those first 2 months, but I was doing exactly what I wanted to do. It was aligned perfectly. It took me back to being introduced to him in 2014, and now I'm exactly where I wanted to be. So honestly, it was just putting myself out there and just being okay with things not being perfect. If I have to sleep on the couch to be in where I want to be, then I'll do it. Now I'm here in my second season. It was very difficult process, learning all the steps, and I just wanted to be there, so I was just doing what I had to do to be there. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so when I look at evidence, and for everybody out there who's never heard of Ronald K. Brown and evidence, I need you to go look it up. Ronald, Ronald, the letter K, Brown, like the crayon. My beautiful skin.
Right.
Evidence, like you're looking for evidence in a crime. Ronald K. Brown evidence. Go look them up because your movements remind me of water all the time. You all look so liquid to me.
It's crazy that you say water because that was the first piece that I had to perform with them. The piece was called Water. So,
well, look at But yeah. Just even, I mean, I've seen, of course, I've seen evidence performances. Thank you to Miss Shay for making us aware of their latest performance. It was at the Joyce Center, right? It was at the Joyce. So we got to see that. But then just, if you go on Facebook and YouTube, you can see these types of things. And so there was even a challenge. And Rain and I learned it, but it really did not ever get recorded. We thought we were going to be, in public, hitting it up with the ching, we were ready. But it never made it to film for real. But but even every movement, like even it doesn't matter what it is, it's so fluid to me. So I think the company it has its own style. It's absolutely beautiful. And just having seen you as a dancer and a teacher, I was like, oh yes, this is her judge, this is her tribe. But it's beautiful to hear how you manifested your your destiny. You decided that this is what you wanted. This is what you went for. You're willing to sacrifice to do it, because sleeping on a couch is not the most comfortable of things. But your village was also activated. Like, they said, yes, come on. We know you have a dream. We know there's some things you want to do. So come on, come sleep on our couch. Oh, you're still here? Okay, sleep on our couch. Oh, you're still here. Okay, come sleep on this couch. And your mother was supportive. And, all of us in North Carolina, even though we wanted to be very selfish and say, bring yourself right on back here,
Mhm.
we didn't. And we will forever support you in your craft and what you do.
What have you experienced for the difference between dancing in the studio and dancing professionally?
That's a really, really good question, because it's 100% different. Even when you say studio, I also think about college, like the school, like type of setting. It's not the same. You don't have and it's so hard to explain. Being in a company, being a professional dancer in a company, and being a student, and being in a studio setting or school setting, you don't have the time to act like a student. So a lot of things that
Mhm.
you should know, you should come in knowing. You don't get the 20,000 questions that you get to ask when you're a student. It's almost like this level of knowing that you need to have when you walk into the room, how to carry yourself. Yes, you have a lunch break, but you need to be going over the steps as well. Knowing everybody's part is very real. Um, I've learned that a lot. Knowing everybody's part is serious. When they tell you to do it in the studio, you're like, yeah, but they got time. You don't have time. You have to know everybody's step, because if Ron wants you to do this today, you need to be ready to do it today. It's such a that's a packed question, because it's a lot of areas of the company, just in any company, that is different than being a student. The research that you need to do prior to stepping into a piece. Um, okay, perfect example. In the studio, when we get ready for a performance, we know we got to put on. We're doing the most. We got all these faces. We're doing this. This is what we know. But in the company, you don't need to put on. Like, you just need to share with the audience. So if you're happy, it doesn't need to be external. It needs to kind of be internal, and then it'll come out externally. Versus when we're at a recital, this is a happy piece. Now we're showing happy with everything in our face, but nothing in the body. So I think being in a company is more than putting on. Like, we don't need to be put on. It's You're just sharing and being open. So it's a different level of maturity that comes from, like, being in the studio in a school setting versus being in a company. It's just a completely different mindset. No one's going to walk you through it step by step. A lot of it is homework that you have to do, and then you come in, and then they'll nurture you in that way. But it's a lot of self growth, and the family part too.
Michelle,
Mhm.
you better be an inside out performer, honey.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't.
and come ready.
Yeah, you can't, because a lot of times, and I've recently learned this while being in evidence, because he'll say it a lot. You can't get to the end step without doing the work before you get there. So say he show you a step and you just do it, and he's like, no, you just did what you saw, but you didn't do the work to get to the end. So, like, you got to do the in between before you can just get to the end feeling of a step. So that's the shift of the mindset of just doing what you see versus feeling it, and, like, being evident, like, of what you um see.
Come on, be evident with evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arts-a-Thon. Once again, it's the Arts and Me Arts-a-Thon. It's Rain's platform,
Yeah.
the Arts and Me, and we are combining together to throw this awesome Arts-a-Thon to benefit the Point Company and Technique Conservatory, as well as CTG, which is the Community Theater of Greensboro. And we are hoping that we'll raise enough money to help really make a difference because they've both taken hits during this pandemic and had to make some shifts and changes and pivots during the pandemic. And I think that it's just an awesome time to highlight the arts altogether because a lot of people, and I said this in another chat with someone, they sleep on the arts. They forget how important the arts are and what the arts really do for our lives and how they really change us. I mean, some of my greatest smiles come from the arts. How about you?
Yes, most definitely.
Miss Shay, is there any last word of wisdom that you want to share with artists of any type who to share with artists of any type who desire to go from kind of the amateur community level to being professionals?
Yeah, something that one of my mentors told me, who was a former company member with evidence, is just, and this doesn't have to go just for dance, but just make sure you know if you're there for the step or the check, because the director will know and it shows. And you want to make sure you're there for the step and not.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, make sure you know if you want to, if you're there for the step or for the check, and you should be there for the step.
uh, so it's so cool to know a professional.
Yes.
And well, not just a professional, but like a professional on a real company that is like amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come